So, with the live-action Dumbo remake coming out today, I thought it'd be a good idea to give my opinion on the live-action Disney remakes, which is their latest trend. Because as we all know, in the 2000s, when I was growing up, it was the direct-to-DVD sequels. Fun times. It's known to everybody and their grandmas that I'm a huge Disney fan. I grew up with a lot of Disney movies, like everybody else did, and they become very inspirational to me as an artist well into my adulthood. So, you probably wonder what my opinion on these things are. And honestly, I'm kind of mixed on them. Of course, the general opinion is everybody's hating on these things, mostly because of the fact that they feel that these movies are going to ruin their childhood, or it just doesn't make sense that a multi-billion-dollar company like Disney would result in making these kind of movies. They're the company that can afford to take risks, yet they continue to give us the same stuff over and over again. Not to mention owning Marvel, Star Wars, and now acquiring 20th Century Fox. This studio is on the verge of becoming an empire, and everybody is running scared. And as a big Disney fan, I find it hard not to disagree with people, but at the same time, I can't hate them for it either. After all, they are a business, and it's a business's duty to want to make money. So, I don't understand why I should feel obligated to hate them. They've given me so much happy memories, and I still enjoy going to see movies to this day made by them. I'm looking forward to Frozen 2. I've recently become a big fan of the Marvel movies. And as you guys know, I might not be the biggest Star Wars fan, but I find myself enjoying Disney's Star Wars movies. The main ones, that is. So I'm sorry guys, I can't force myself to be angry about this. Alright, I'll try. I'm mad. Listen to how angry I am. Rawr. I have my reasons for not letting these remakes bother me too much. For one thing, nothing is happening to the originals. They're always going to be there. Dumbo was one of my favorite Disney movies. Probably in my top 5. Definitely my top 5. Dumbo was one Disney movie I hold close to my heart because it was one of my favorites that me and my mom used to watch together. She connected with it because the movie is about a mother's undying love for her son. And it was a movie I related a lot to because, like Dumbo, I got bullied a lot in school. And I still remember my mom singing Baby Mine to me as a child. Not to hide your setbacks, but exploit them. That's a pretty good lesson to teach kids nowadays. And I can tell by the trailers that it's hinted that the crows aren't going to be seen. I can understand difference in times. But the crows in Dumbo are debatably not racial stereotypes, but instead positive characters that help Dumbo learn to fly. They don't make fun of him like all the other characters do. In fact, they become some of his close friends. Personally, I think that's hard to pinpoint as being racist, but hey, what do I know? Also, I'm kind of weary about the added human cast. Dumbo was mostly about the animals from their point of view, and human characters rarely had speaking roles. So, I honestly don't know how they can intertwine human characters into this, but whatever. At least it's good to see Tim Burton and Michael Keaton working again. Now, if only we can get that Beetlejuice sequel we've all been waiting for. Make it happen. And as a Tim Burton fan, I find it kind of disheartening to see that he's resorted to doing nothing but adaptations and remakes. Hopefully he's got a comeback in him because I really like to see his stuff. But that is to say that Dumbo isn't at least going to look fantastic. It's a Tim Burton movie. They always look good. Another reason why the live-action Disney remakes don't bother me is maybe Disney is just playing something better in the future. In baseball, they have a term called rebuild. That's when a team is trying to put things together in order to create a dynasty. And I think Disney is just working towards another era where they have creative stuff, like the Renaissance era. They just have to get these easy movies out of the way first. That's just the optimist of me speaking. I hope I'm right, though. I really hope that this isn't the sign that they're running out of ideas, because that would be very sad. Just make a Mickey Mouse movie already, dagnabbit. And finally, the last reason these Disney remakes don't bother me is I have no plans on seeing any of them. Yeah. Since I started doing these, I have not seen one, and I don't plan on seeing any of them. Why should I? I already seen them. They're called the animated versions. These movies rarely, if ever, change anything, and the changes they do make don't make much sense. And I think it's very telling that animated movies can not only tell their stories in half the time these live-action remakes do, but they can tell them in a lot more mature way that both kids will understand and adults would appreciate for their subtlety. The Dumbo remake is almost 2 hours long. Really? Do you really need that long to tell a story about an elephant who's made fun of and embraces his differences to become a star? I know movies nowadays are getting longer, but come on. My time is precious, Disney. If I can watch a shorter version of a movie, then I'm all for that. Not to mention, there's a lot of these things coming out. Just this year alone, there's going to be Aladdin, Lion King, and Maleficent Mistress of Evil, along with Dumbo. I'm not made of money, Disney. I cannot see all of your movies. I'm sorry, I just can't. But hey, like I said, that's just my choice as a viewer. I'm not saying these movies are bad or good. I'm just saying they're not for me, and I don't see the reason to see them. If anything, I think it's very cool that these movies are being made. Think about it. It's going to introduce a whole new generation to the original classics. It's true, I didn't grow up with every Disney movie, but I was introduced to Disney at a young age. I was able to do research and find even more movies they made, and I ended up finding some of my favorite movies ever. That's just how these things work. Something familiar, yet something new at the same time. Who knows how these live-action remakes will affect this generation. But I do know one thing, it can't hurt. I mean, I'm so mad, I'm gonna throw something. I'm angry. Yeah, it's raining outside. So yes, it might seem kind of lazy and uncreative for Disney to take animated movies and turn them into live action. But you know, there's a strong possibility that people are going to get tired of these movies and stop seeing them, and Disney's going to cancel all of them. It can happen. So for right now, these don't really bother me. And anything that introduces kids to the older generation of Disney that we grew up with, I can't see myself hating. What do you folks think of the live-action Disney remakes? Is there any you actually enjoyed more than the originals, or just enjoyed in general? And don't just say they're ruining your childhood. Your childhood was just fine. These can't hurt you. As always, stay loony, my toonies.